Oh my
Here we
lord.
go.
Look at these bans. Are we going to see all the viable supports in the game or no? Because that's literally what happened last time around. Not going to be the case. Oxygen's going to ban out Kwong, the very strong jungler and offlaner. Arctic Wolves are going to take Decker out of the equation, which, considering it is a Marty Rivia Decker, I don't blame them at all. He's been the go-to Decker player pretty much since the competitive scene has existed. So I agree with that ban, taking that out of the equation. And now we're going to see what they're going to go with here for their first pick.
Yeah, it is going to be a Grux for the first pick of Team Oxygen, and that was the first pick in the last match as well. And Meds played pretty damn well on it in the last game, creating a lot of space for Team Oxygen. I want to talk a little bit about this Kwong ban though. It's a bit of a deviation from Team Oxygen. It's not what they went for last time, and it almost makes me feel like they're feeling extremely confident going into this draft. They're like, maybe we can
Yeah.
try a couple of different things. Since this is a best of 3 and we are up 1 games to 0, we do have that second chance if we really need it. So perhaps it is time to go for a Kwong.
Arctic Wolves picked themselves up a Morgesh in Twin Blast. So this time, Imsco's not going to have that comfort hero. That's exactly what Twin Blast is in the hands of Imsco. He just can sit back and pop, pop, pop. Not going to be the case this time around. So we're going to see if Team Oxygen is going to go with the new flavor of the month, Revenant, or fall back to Sparrow, a little more late game oriented carry. Though Imsco really hasn't ever favored that hero over other mid game based heroes. So I expect them to pick up a Revenant here. But I like that they're putting a prioritization on Grux here. With the new jungle, the old jungle, Grux was the most picked and contested jungler. But now with the new jungle, I think he's actually even come out further ahead. He's able to clear those waves very effectively with double pain being up so frequently. And obviously all he needs essentially is level 2 to secure a gank with double pain, smash and grab. And so he definitely, at this point in time, brings more to the table in terms of jungler than any other. And getting someone as talented as Meds on that hero, very, very important. Coming up next, though, is what I like to call the dynamic duo of Narbash support and Grux. And I'm not surprised to see that Bellica pick up. Ramidals just had a outstanding performance last game on that hero.
Yeah, I mean, I expect the same from him this time around. Ramirez one of the best 1v1ers in the game, as I'm so fond of saying, and the Belka helps him to do that. Very difficult to try to gank, and we saw it in the last game. It seemed like he was getting out of situation after situation where it was 2v1, 3v1, his Belk was being smacked from all sides, and he just kind of scared away from them and said, you know what, you can't kill me, I'm one of the best in the game, I'm Ram Riddles, and we'll see what he can do this time around. But the Narbash for Team Oxygen, that's interesting to me. Probably going to be their support hero for Marty. And I'll be interested to see what kind of plays he can make with the hero. In the past, he may have struggled with it a little bit. But honestly, how hard can a stun in a straight line be?
I mean, if you can land stasis bombs, you can land a Thunk. Thunk is pretty much an easy stasis bomb, let's be honest here. Not quite as much range. I think it does a little bit damage, but I expect him to see that there. Other supports on the field for Arctic Wolves to potentially pick up, of course. Muriel, Aurora, and Richter is a very common pick here for Arctic Wolves. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Phasma on that Richter again. Last game, he wasn't really landing that many hooks. He actually uncharacteristically was missing, I would say, an overwhelming majority of them. They're going to pick up Sevarog and Howitzer here. So they got themselves what we have to assume is a jungler, but I know that there has been that some teams have been offlaning Sevarog, that the jungle changes sort of hit him pretty hard. We're going to see how that's going to go. But I'd imagine it's going to be a jungle Sevarog. Offlane isn't off the table. We'll have to see as they continue to finish their draft out here.
Yeah, I just don't really know if they're going to be able to run an offlane Sevrog here just because they've already picked up Howitzer and Moragesh. So I would assume that one of them kind of has to go into that lane. Meanwhile, Team Oxygen, their last 2 picks, it's going to be the Imsco Revenant and also... they get a Rampage. That's...
So that's their... Yeah, I have to assume... Okay, let's see here. Revenant Narbash, safe lane. Bellica off lane. Grux mid laner.
Did you just say Grux? Did you
Wait.
just say Grux mid lane?
I'm sorry. Grux jungle. and I guess offlane Rampage and mid
Offlane
Belica.
Rampage.
That's what I have to think. Yeah, mid Grux is the new meta. It's gonna break your brain.
Mid-Grux.
You're not ready for
Is
it,
that
dude.
like steel?
You're not ready.
Steel
You're
mid
not
now?
ready for this mid Grux, man. Yeah.
Oh man. In any case,
That-
last pickup for Arctic Wolves, it's gonna be a Richter. We're just gonna stop derping right
Okay.
now and get this draft over with. So we are again gonna see the Phasma Richter. See if he can, improve a little bit over his performance in the last game.
I wonder if duo mid is gonna be. I mean, Team Oxygen, they were the best team when duo mid was still considered meta. I wonder if they're going to be pulling it out here, if they're just going to do an offlane. I mean, it's Ramriddles. Like, I mean, we always say that. Like, you can put Ramriddles on an offlane Narbash, you'll probably get success out of it. But offlane Rampage, really? Rampage doesn't have the best wave clear in the world. He's one of those offlaners you pick for pick-off potential and team fighting potential, not necessarily split pushing. I mean, he has the sustain with King of the Jungle in the region. Even though he doesn't get the value out of it like he normally does, he still gets a base amount of region. So, he has that going for him in terms of what you're looking for in an offlaner. But it's going to be interesting. I can't think of a time where we saw this hero, assuming he is in the offlane. I don't want to be assuming here, but I think that's the only real viable place for him to go here. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do with this Rampage. I think there's a lot of questions to be had. We're going to see what Oxygen's going to do with this this draft here. Very unorthodox, to put it the least here, Pith.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's definitely new ground for Ramriddles, so we'll have to see, but we are ready in game here. So let's start up in 3, 2, 1, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, game number 2. Going here of Arctic Wolves between Team Oxygen. The winner of this series moves on to day number 2 into the semifinals. Arctic Wolves, it's all or nothing at this point. Phasma once again on the Richter. He's normally landing Riplashes, getting off multiple hero ultimates with that skewer. But last game definitely felt like a big underperformance from him. We'll keep an eye on him, and hopefully he'll be able to step his game up, as well as the rest of his roster. Crazy full over on Morgesh. It's going to be Mist Hollow on Sevarog. Looks like that is going to be a jungle Sevarog, judging by his current positioning on the map. Vanilla Cutie on the Howitzer, and Survivor picking up the reins of the Pop Twin Blast.
Yeah, meanwhile, the old Pop from the last game is... Sorry, Pop, missed one. Is going to be Imsco playing the Revenant now for Oxygen. We've got Arsenic playing the Belica. Maririvia handling the Narbash. And Meds will be handling the Jungle Grux. And then finally, Team Reborn.net, otherwise known as Ramriddles.
Yeah.
It's going to be your offlane Rampage.
So I'd imagine it's... The 3 big primary things you're looking for in an offlaner.
Ooh, actually, wow.
Is an ability to... he's able to be an impact without early game farm. I think Rampage absolutely is that. He doesn't need a lot. All he needs is to hit level 5 and land a boulder. He's able to escape ganks. Maybe not this gank, though.
Escape things? I don't think so.
Was that foreshadowing? I mean, I'm just saying.
Caster's Curse.
At level 1, he's not able to. He actually, yeah, well, there you go. That's very uncharacteristic right there, right off the bat. Arctic Wolves are going to be happy with that. They killed Ramriddles, but also being able to diminish the, pretty much, I would say, the main engine behind Team Oxygen of Ramriddles. That's going to go a long way, not only for morale, but making a statement thus far. As offlane Rampage already having a little bit of trouble. All aboard the struggle bus. Elsewhere on the field, though, Morgesh, she lacks an ability to... her wave clear is pretty small as well, so she has that disadvantage there. But I don't know if Imsco and Marty are going to want to push this out very, very quickly. Obviously, they just want... The main goal, anytime you're Dawn safe lane, the main goal is to get this tier 1 offlane tower prior to 10 minutes.
Yeah, and you definitely can do that with the Revenant being at max attack speed the entire game. The only thing that attack speed or building attack speed does on him is change the reload speed. So, I mean, he definitely can take these waves down quite quickly and also put a lot of damage into the tower. So that might be pretty good for taking it down quickly. Oh, wow. Apparently, Mishal doesn't want to contest meds at all for the blue buff.
Maybe a little bit of a bait, per se, as Phasma was rotating over. The subjugate landed He actually landed that Riplash right as Med was trying to charge away. The knockdown mine is there too, so they're coordinating exactly what they need to do. And Arctic Wolves coming out the heels of a very poor performance in game number 1 and game number 2. Get first blood on Ramriddles and then turn around and get a kill on the Meds as well. So already they're able to stabilize themselves, come back into this game with a good attitude, and that's what we want to see out of them. They can continue to make picks ups like that. That's what we're going to want to see. Phasma might be in some trouble here. The boulder completely misses from Ramriddles.
Yeah. And
now he might be in some trouble too. Mist Hollow's here to follow up. Not much
Survivor.
mana.
Okay. Ramriddles. Okay.
How is he going to get the double kill? He's not going to be able to get the double kill on the Phasma. He doesn't have the mana, or he does have the mana for a boulder.
Okay.
Oh, okay. He got it! He got it! That's Ramriddles, ladies and gentlemen. He gets the double kill. With his last dying breath, he throws the boulder and lands it onto Richter's big frame. And a double kill onto the off-lane Rampage. At this point, who knows what is meta, Pith?
Okay. What? Hello? Okay, so let me just break that down a little bit. So Ramriddles very stylishly put the first rock right into, well, right off the map, honestly. And then he put the second one into Phasma to get the second kill there after he already took down Survivor. I mean, Minions obviously helped a lot there, but Ramriddles with the BDP.
Creeper the MVP. Creeper always the MVP. So, Arctic Wolves, that's okay. They gotten 2 kills. Ramriddles, that's just, at this point, that's just standard play out of him. He has all the health regen in the world, double healer token. This is a certified build. Double healer token as well as the small boost he gets from King of the Jungle. Another thing about certain offlaners are really able to take advantage of their mobility, specifically their vertical mobility. Greystone, Feng Mao, and now Rampage. They could actually potentially steal the gold buff by jumping up from the low ground to the high ground. If they decide to put a ward there, or you can just simply sort of time it appropriately. So that's another thing. Arctic Wolves can't just get this gold buff for free. They have to respect that.
Here comes Ramriddles and Meds. Here they go.
Smash and grab, land on a Phasma. He's trying to get himself away. Boulder is here, and if he lands that boulder, that's a dead Richter once again. Meds picks up the kill. Clean rotation. Level 5 was just hit around that timing there. And with that level 5, Meds rotated right when he needed to be and get the kill. Over on the other side of the field, both Crazy Full and Mist Hollow. They're trying to do what they can to defend the siege against this tower. But with the siege minion whacking away on it, Imsco's low, but still, they're not going to be confident to engage on him. With Marty having plenty of mana, plenty of health. They're trying to take it down, do what they can. I think the next wave, they should be able to pick up this tower. Here they go. Crazy Full has good mana. Thunk is there. Is there mana for an Obliterate? Does Imsco have it? Nope. Marty sure as hell has it, though. And they pick up a kill. Twin Blast to fall on the other side of the field as well. And Oxygen gave up 2 kills early on. Arctic Wolves looked like they were starting to bounce back from game number 1. But Oxygen is not going to let that happen any longer, as they just in a moment's notice pick up 2 very important kills, and that off-lane tower is gone down as well. Pre-10 minutes, I'd imagine we're going to see a lane swap here on the side of Oxygen.
I mean, honestly, they could swap whatever they wanted. After that initial bit from Arctic Wolves, they've been dominating now. They've been taking every single little skirmish that they have access to, and that double kill over in the left lane really set things up for them. It got Ramriddles up to level 5, which made it so that although Phasma and Survivor might have thought they had a little bit of damage to him, Rampage just pops the HGH, or otherwise known as the human growth hormone, and just decides to go ham with Meds showing up as well. And then you've got, on the other side of the map, Imsco and Maririvia also dominating that lane. It doesn't really seem like there's any place on the map at all right now for Arctic Wolves.
Marty Rivia just finished his Circle of Health. So that's 2.8 region for everyone on his side of the team. One of those cards that was changed with the most recent patch update. Strong push into the offlane. Mist Hollow rotated to pick up this offlane tower as well. So they are able to pick up that offlane tower, but not without giving up quite a bit over to the side of Oxygen here. But that means Rampage has, I think, he has 12 health regen 7 minutes into the game. And especially if he continues to level up that King of the Jungle, if he decides to do so. I think we'll just have to see. And actually, there we go. That's a much-needed kill over in the mid lane, with Morgesh picking that up. And Arctic Wolves continue to respond back. That's what they lacked in game number 1. was an answer to these to Oxygen whenever they took engagements. But Meds is now rotated. This is a very, very zealous tier 2 tower push this early on. And I think that's a pretty easy cleanup right there coming out from Team Oxygen. Meds just lands a money smash and grab the follow-up is there.
This
and
it's not easy.
It's pushing a tier 2 tower like that early on without exception is just, it's so greedy. So very greedy, and it's very easy to punish. That's pretty much what happened there.
Well, still, you do see a very minor lead right now from Oxygen. They've got, very slight leads in terms of CXP across the board. And I think, honestly, Imsco really just needs to get up to level 5. If he did have that, he does have it now. If he had it in the last engagement, he wouldn't have been as susceptible to the Moragash and Howitzer damage. But you see him getting caught out here, and yeah, he goes into the Reckoning.
Gonna try to get away. If Subjugate lands, that should be the death of him. And it does. Mistalo gets that follow-up. Needed to land that Subjugate. And able to pull it up. We do hear Killing Spree on the side of Severog. Articles are looking significantly better here. The kills are even. As far as CS, though, that's where we really start to see Team Oxygen coming out ahead. 120 to 168. That's a significant lead with only 10 minutes in.
And that's just what we've grown used to from Team Oxygen. And honestly, if you're Arctic Wolves, you can't try to contest them on that point. You can try to stay as close to farm as possible with Team Oxygen, but you're not really ever going to out-farm them over the course of the game. What you have to do is you have to be aggressive in the early game, and this is what Arctic Wolves are really starting to do in this one. Phasma getting up in the levels, trying to create all the opportunities for his team, and also we've been seeing some good rotations from Mistile as well, finally trying to actually hit their stride as a team here, and maybe they're finally figuring out their communication issues as well.
Hanging behind that fog wall, Phasma and Vanilla maybe looking for Marty to sneak up over there and try to get a kill out of him here. 10 minutes, Raptors have spawn, and let the ward battle begin around the Raptor camp. Already, Arsenic dewarded the main ward in the middle of the jungle or the Raptor camp there. And denying vision is the other than getting kills, denying the vision is how you're able to get Raptors and get out cleanly without giving up too many kills. Vanilla's just outright caught out. Seismic Assault, smash and grab, a couple of auto attacks. And with that being said, they don't have to worry about the Howitzer, and they should be able to pick this up. It's going to essentially be a 3v4, as we do see Morgash and Rampager going at each other's throats on the other side of the map. And if the Raptors can do enough DPS to turn this around, that might be enough. Meds is the one at the lowest. Phasma forced to put himself in an awkward position to pop that Quenching Scales. They aren't going to take any kills, and you can tell Team Oxygen, they're not going for the kills. They're going for the Raptors. The Raptors gain and net more card experience as a whole than kills. And you can tell Oxygen are aware of that fact. Very good game sense from them. Very good execution. There was a response from Arctic Wolves, but they retreated. They gave it up, knowing they're at a significant disadvantage. Just sort of, I think that was just sort of like a, hey, let's see what happens sort of play. Maybe we can get a kill. We didn't get the kill. Let's get the hell out of Dodge. And that's exactly what happened.
Another thing important there is that Imsco used the Reckoning to turn that 3v4 fight into basically a 2v3. And when you have just two members forced to fight up against three very strong Oxygen members at that point, without any of the area control that Howitzer brings or the other caster of the Moragash, things are a little bit more difficult trying to fight there. And they did make a very good decision to just back off and let Oxygen have their Raptors.
So with those Raptors being picked up, Imsco at 16 card experience. Survivor actually at 17. So they picked up the Raptors. A Revenant with that inherent bounty boost that he gets from kills. Of course, he hasn't actually gotten any kills quite yet. Arctic Wolves carry of Survivor, doing a damn good job of not only staying even with Imsco, but keeping ahead of him, despite the fact that they weren't able to pick up Raptors. A very strong Tier 1 tower push down in the mid lane. A very sluggish response, a lethargic response coming up from Team Oxygen. I don't think they were prepared or necessarily expecting that. The right side of the map, Pith, is pretty much Crazy Fool and Remriddles just poking each other with their abilities and casually running away. It's we had that big engagement of Raptors. We saw the Tier 1 tower push mid lane. Meanwhile, those two guys are just sort of farming creep and watching each other throughout the duration.
Taking a look at that matchup specifically, it makes a lot more sense, that choice of Ramriddles to go with the healer tokens, and also with the regen that Rampage has from the passives. You see him only putting 1 level into it right now, but it's definitely a very good tool to have against the Morgesh with her hive. So it makes a lot of sense for Oxygen to just plant Ramriddles in that lane up against Morgesh and see what he can do there all by his lonesome, and while the rest of the team kind of dukes it out, which is more of the Oxygen style that we're used to.
Yeah, I don't think there's terribly much kill potential. I think they just sort of are going to kill creep and wait for something else to happen across the map. And in a situation like that, Oxygen, that's their comfort zone, Pith, right? Team Oxygen's comfort zone is you put Ramriddles in a 1v1 situation. Even if he's at a disadvantage due to the matchup, he still is either able to come up even or come out ahead. While the rest of the team 4v4s. Misty gets caught out, just a good CC chain. Doesn't even have time to even use his escape ability. It was just Seismic Assault into Smash and Grab followed by Thunk. No Sevarog for 25 seconds. The Raptors aren't up anytime soon. Let's see what Team Oxygen decide to do here and transition this into. It looks like rotating over to mid. They don't have a siege minion, but I think at 15 minutes in, they have enough DPS to take down this tier 1 tower. We'll see what Vanilla Cutie are able to do.
What they really want to do is try to find another kill off the map, but Arctic Wolves aren't really in a position that allows Oxygen to do that, so they'll just continue to put their pressure on. They just keep Imsco putting on the left lane, and yeah, honestly, they're just looking for some map control right now, trying to go for some D wards.
Again, the presence from this Richter, I haven't really felt it. You pick that Richter to get single target picks. It's a pick composition, essentially, when you pick up that Richter, and I really haven't felt it. Mid lane, Vanilla Cutie's in all the trouble. Can't do much of anything when Narbash is keeping you in place with Crash Bang Boom. Tier 1 tower is getting sieged down by minions. They're going to retreat off the map here. And pretty much just fall back to their positions. You see Marty back into base, top himself off. And I think what they're doing here is just prepping for the next Raptor camp. We'll be spawning here in about 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and making sure that they are all topped off, have all their points spent, have full mana. Howitzer will be back on the field to contend. In the meanwhile, let's see if they can get another pickoff, or they're just going to go in there nonchalantly into the Raptor camp and try to take it without any sort of observable advantage.
Taking a look at our cards right now, we see two members of Arctic Wolves picking up the Thick Blood, one on the Morgesh, one on the Howitzer, so definitely very good for the casters to have on there, and also excellent against the Rampage, so that's probably why we see so much of an emphasis being put on that item over others for Arctic Wolves. And we see Marty going for the Circlet of Mana, trying to build that up as well, so that should increase his team's ability to take objectives after the fights, which they have been winning quite a few of.
Yeah, at first he had the Circuit of Health, and now that obviously that's more meant to be a early game lane sustain sort of item that you're providing to your team, and is now dropping that for the Circuit of Mana, which obviously has a little bit more long-lasting implications throughout the course of the game. Making sure you have mana up for very important targets, especially for it's very important for Revenant to have cycle as many obliterates as you possibly can if a team fight is a little bit longer than normal, and obviously for the Narbash as well. That way he can just continue to pump out those heals. Raptor's already engaged. Phasma's going to go in, gets thunked up. They're trying to isolate him with the Crash Bang Boom. And the Make It Rain as well as the Colossal Blow, but he actually knocks him out. There's the Skewer finally, right up against the wall with Survivor. Started moving himself forward right around that, and Arctic was taking the first real favorable engagement of this entire series.
Just running for his life right now. He should be completely fine. I don't think Crazy Fool can finish him off.
Phasma.
There's the pool.
Oh, Phasma. Got him. That was a ballsy hook. Even for Phasma, that was a ballsy hook. He had no health and still was able to get it. All Ars thing needed to do was land one auto attack, and he would have got a turnaround kill into the Richter. 3 dead. Vanilla doesn't have much mana. There's not much wave clear provided by the Howitzer. He's got to be careful, though. We've seen what Ramriddles can do. Forced to pop the ultimate and immediately retreat. No siege minion, or there is a siege minion here for Arctic Wolves, but it's getting cut down by those big paws of the Rampage. A tier 2 tower would have been nice right there, but if I'm Arctic Wolves, I'm saying, all right, guys, we got something going. Let's get back. Let's stabilize. Let's continue to take this momentum that we just gained from that fight. Now, I'm fairly certain, though, that Ipsco was able to pick up those Raptors. Were you able to catch an eye on that?
I actually think that IMSCO is broken for me or something, because I really don't think he's at 20 card points. So if you want to go back 10 seconds with me for a hot second, maybe we can actually see how many card points he's at.
23.
24 now for me. So
yep. Just hit that for me.
So a little bit better than 20, but he is actually falling behind a bit here, which, you know, doesn't bode as well for Oxygen, because what you really want as a Revenant is you want to be able to 1v1 a hero down. Just because of the changes to his Reckoning now, you're really forced more to put in most of the damage on the 1v1 yourself, and you have to be a bit more discerning about who you decide to 1v1 as well. So you really do want your Revenant to be ahead quite a bit on card points, and you hope that the Reckoning helps you with that because of the bounty that you would get for a win, but he just hasn't been able to do that so far.
Beautiful hook onto IMSCO. The Funk on the Survivor to try to mitigate as much damage as they can. The Reckoning has been forced out. That was used strictly defensively to try to get IMSCO out of what was a very sticky situation. Onto the Pure plus the Quenching Scales, showing why those cards are the first and second cards all support should be picking up. Without those two cards, that's a dead Revenant.
Oh, wow. On the other side of the map, Med's getting taken out against Marigesh, and double caster combo working out here for Arctic Wolves, trying to chase down the tanky Rampage. I think they should be able to do that.
His ultimate up. They should be able to, and they're going to get 2 kills just like that. Marigesh and Hauser definitely complement each other. They compensate for each other's weaknesses. Marigesh has that long-lasting, consistent damage. Howitzer is pretty much reliant on his 8-second cooldown for big burst damage, so Marigesh just gets them low enough, one rocket to the face, and all of a sudden they are just right at death's bed. So Arctic Wolves, it's very, when you have a game like Arctic Wolves had in game number 1, it's so difficult to stage a reasonable showing in the next game. It's demoralizing, and it's very, very difficult. But yeah, this is a team that completely has shaken off game number 1, is staying even in most metrics ahead. They pick up the Orb Prime on the heels of that double kill. Let's see. I want them to get something done here with this Orb Prime. They have, I mean, map controls pretty much even at this point, Myth. Pith, rather. You're not Myth.
Myth? I'm not Myth. He's a great guy, though. Shout out. I'm the Myth.
Twitch.tv/I'm the Myth.
Great guy.
I played against him yesterday against his steal, so I think that's why I was thinking about stuff. No, actually, we lost. It was with Nox.
How salty are you?
I literally don't ever get salty.
No,
I'm incapable of it.
No, Shane does not get salty, ladies and gentlemen.
I am void of all emotions. But I want to see them at least get a tier 2 tower. Let's get something going. Arctic Wolves have not had this. This is the first time in the game that they have had a big swing in their favor, and I don't want to see them just sit on this. I want to see them make a concerted push. The Raptors aren't going to be up for another like 40 seconds. Don't forget the Orb Prime only lasts for 90 seconds now, significantly shorter than it was before. So this is a small window of opportunity they have, and they got to leap through that window if they have any hopes of bringing this to a game number 3.
Yeah, and I like that they're finally being able to group up here in the mid lane and look for that tier 2 tower. They did do some damage to that one before, and Marigesh will slowly make her way over to the lane. We'll see if Arctic Wolves can try to weather this storm of oxygen, but here comes the fight.
Oh, the 2-man smasher grab right onto the carry. That's the target they want, but they are able to keep him alive for now. Inside of the make-it range, the Skewer's trying to do what he can, but it's only onto meds, and they need more peel than that, and down goes Survivor. The main DPS, the core of this composition, has been taken out. IMSCO is in the front line. He has to be careful not to overextend, and he's going to be able to get away. Right, threading the needle is Vanilla Cutie with the R2000 rocket, and picks up a kill onto Marty at max range. Beautifully executed right there. And right now, Arctic Wolves are looking like they're coming out ahead of this engagement. Vanilla, oh, that's so aggressive. He's got to be careful. He uses the rocket. Oh, the missed hollow box, the boulder. Someone give that man a badge, because he just saved his teammate. They're all very low, but they still have the Orb Prime. They have the region. Pass the blink forward. Just a silence, a hook, anything. Subjugate, an auto attack. Boom, he goes down. And only Ramriddle's alive. He's a hell of a player, but I don't know if he can defend against a 4-man push. They don't have their carry. Survivor got taken out, so I don't know if this is going to be an inhibitor. Brooks and Narbash respawning here. If they can keep this inhibitor alive for 10 seconds, get IMSCO back on the field. Ramriddles can land a boulder. They simply lack the damage without their Twin Blast charging forward. Marty playing the song of his people. And they are going to be able to catch him out. And hook on to Marty. Follow-up's not there, though, unfortunately. as Arctic Wolves has a miscommunication, and now here comes Team Oxygen looking to pounce on a boulder from Vanilla, but he's going to get away. The inhibitor holds, but Arctic Wolves come out of this, denying the jump pads, denying map control, and come out of this fight massively, but not if Ramrdos has anything to say with it. He's going to pop the ultimate. He's going to land the boulder on Vanilla, and oh my, the knockup from Vanilla was just barely enough to secure some distance, and now the reinforcement from Arctic Wolves. Team Reborn no longer is in his ultimate form, and his leap is on cooldown, but the rest of his team is here to zone protect. Meds providing the just showing up is finally going to put an end to that engagement. What an engagement, but you got to say, Arctic Wolves came out of that, and we haven't said that this entire series, Pith.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm actually going to have you go to 24 minutes real quick just to get you right back on sync. But
all
yeah,
right,
Arctic Wolves, they didn't actually lose anything out of that engagement. They might have gotten low on a couple of heroes, and sure, Vanilla Cutie was chased for a while by Ramriddles, but couldn't quite get there. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 24. Seamless transition into a team fight here.
Oh, smash and grab as well. Meds continues to land these multiple smash and grabs. The subjugate is just simply too late, as well as this skewer. Meds might go down, but even if he does, this team fight is all but a foregone conclusion. Emsco using that big 4-barreled pistol. Did I shoot 3 times or 4? Doesn't matter at this point, as Emsco secures the kill, and they're looking for more. Leading the charge is the Revenant player, something you don't see that often, but with 3 people dead, they're going to try to continue to get more. Raptors are alive, so they got to be careful that they're not too greedy and overextend. Marty's pretty low, out of mana. Arsenic is pretty topped off there, and Emsco is well protected by the front line that Ramriddles is providing. I don't think Vanilla Cutie is necessarily expecting them to continue to pursue this, maybe expecting them to pick up the Raptors instead. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to charge down the Tier 2 tower, not going for the Raptors, and try to even up in terms of map control, deny their opponent of their vision, and those wonderful, much-loved jump pads.
So surprising that Oxygen were able to come up very quickly after that last set of engagements by Arctic Wolves and pick up a Tier 2 tower, and also probably take the Raptors here if Arctic Wolves can't make a fast enough rotation over the pit. And honestly, they seem a bit sluggish in trying to respond to this one, so I don't know even if they do want to go in. Looks like Oxygen will just count their blessings and back up for now, which again could leave the Raptors open for Arctic Wolves. But I think the real question right now is, sure, you can take Raptors for a while, but who's going to get the next OP? Because I don't know if anyone's going to be taking a huge fight before that happens next.
They're taking it right now. Phasma has the purple buff, but they know about it. That ward's going to get denied, but again, they're aware of that positioning. They're going to play around it if they do decide to contend, but that's just simply not going to happen. We got a game on our hands here, boys. Game number 1 was a little bit anticlimactic and a little bit of a resident sleeper game, but Arctic Wolves comes back from this and find themselves at the brink of bringing this to game number 3. See what they can continue to do. Let's take a look at the build of Rampage specifically here, just because offlane Rampage is something we don't see, I think, ever. Pretty standard stuff. Double Adamant Edge. Has a tune barrier to deal with that. Actually, 2 double tune barrier here. So the ability damage is not of any his concern.
He's just
more
sick of Maragesh and
ability.
Howitzer.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't blame him. I mean, Twin Blast also, a lot of his damage comes from grenades, so it mitigates a pretty chunk, a large chunk of Twin Blast damage as well.
Oh, here they go.
Let's see what they're able to pick up here. Make It Rain already used, so they're not going to get much value out of the ability. Meds is pretty much by himself at this point in time, but Marty Riviere uses that speed boost. There's the Honor the Pure and quenching skills used very, very early, but Phasma's been isolated, and there's not much follow-up from his team. Survivor finally shows up to the fight here, but the damage has been done. The Richter has been a complete non-factor in this fight thus far, and now Meds is trying to isolate down the carry, leading it, and he does get taken out there. So already 2 down on the side of Arctic Wolves. Oxygen strike back with haste and decisively over on those Raptors there. They are being forced to back here, as they don't want to make sure that, well, are they backing or are they not backing? A little moment of indecision right there. They are backing up here. They're going to try to top themselves up as quickly as they can. A very small window of opportunity here. Are they thinking about an Orb Prime call here? I mean, they immediately all backed. They want to make sure they have their health and their mana and spend all their points. It's about a 20-second window that they're going to have for a power play.
I feel like they have to regain control of their lanes right now. Looks like mid is pretty pushed in, but no, they're making a beeline for the pit right now. They say, you know what, if we're going to beat Arctic Wolves, this is the time. It is now. and we need to make as much use of our time as possible. It looks like they are spreading out a little bit. I don't know, just the way they were moving towards the pit really made it seem like they wanted to get the Orb Prime done as soon as possible. But, you know, Meds with the Shadow Plane buff, he's going to be scouting out Phasma over by the pit. And unfortunately does not have any help here with him.
Let's take a look at the numbers as the fog dissipates here of that most recent engagement. Emsco at 43 to Survivor at 41, so they are finding themselves at an advantage. Double Blink Charm forward, but I don't think they were expecting Meds to be right around the corner. Vanilla dodges the challenge of the Warlord. Meds actually charges into the center of the Make It Rain, taking the big burst damage of the last barrage that it had. That was actually fortuitous body blocking right there. Team Reborn, Ram Riddles is trying to, this is turning into not a full 5v5, but quite a scrappy team fight, quite a scrappy engagement coming out on both of the sides here. No one goes down. That was very, very close. Both teams were on thin ice at that stage in that team fight, but well played on both sides of the field. They're going to fall back and try to set waves as Team Oxygen, who has the map control, and Arctic Wolves are forced to respond.
That was a weird fight. Arctic Wolves responding a little bit faster to the engagement since they were the initiators there, but Oxygen eventually do make it there. They just didn't really have the most personnel for a while. It seemed like they were a bit slow to get there, and now I think they are wanting to go for Prime. They see the Marrakesh over on the left side of the map. She's going to have to make a beeline for the Prime Guardian, and is she going to get there in time? Looks like this is taking quite a while to fall, so Oxygen may want to disengage pretty soon because right now they have Ramriels tanking things on the outside, and the Prime Guardian is at half health.
Here comes Arctic Wolves. They're trying to get past this big wall of Ram Riddles. They are able to take them out. Marty using the ultimate as well to try to zone, and they are disengaging from the Orb Prime. They recognize that they cannot take this. They have to take the fight if they have any hope. And going into a BAM goes Bellica. Right there with the pistol. Gets the kill, and Arctic Wolves are falling apart. Emsco uses that Obliterate. Smashes that Q button. Missed Hill will go down. Are we going to get the Quadra? All enemies go down. That's going to be it. You hear the announcer call it out. What just a swing over to Team Oxygen right there. Arctic Wolves, I thought for sure we're going to take that engagement, as it was very, very, just everyone on the side of Team Oxygen were low from the Orb Prime. Meds was at about 3/4. Emsco was about 3/4, but somehow, some way, Team Oxygen continued to do what they do. They get the mid inhibitor. They're going to stabilize, fall back. They can't quite take the game yet with the recent changes to how the core interacts. Instead, they're going to fall back. Round number 2. Pick up the Orb Prime, and then go in for a secondary push.
Round 2, fight here in the OP pit. Yeah, honestly, Arctic Wolves really should have won that engagement, but I think what really ended up hurting them was the fact that they couldn't get over to the fight fast enough as a team. You had Maragash and another hero making their way over from the left lane. They were trying to run as fast as they could, eventually making it there, but in the end, Oxygen was just able to push them off of the OP and somehow win the fight as well, getting the full 5-man team wipe and the quadra kill on Emsco. They just had the damage and the survivability to get through it, and I guess that's just what a Narbash gives you.
Orb Prime is here. They have the regen of the Prime card activation. 90-second power play. Mid inhibitor is going to give them all the map control in the world. I don't know if Raptors are necessarily the objective that you want to go with here, because you have to spend time doing it, then you have to back and spend the card points, and at that point you spent probably a good 30 seconds really not getting much done, utilizing the advantage that you have. Emsco at 53 card points. He's on the cusp of hitting that 60-point card wall, and now has built a 5 to 6 card point lead over the carry of Survivor, whom about 10-15 minutes ago had a very firm lead. So the tides are turning here in the favor of Team Oxygen as of the recent fight around that Orb Prime. And it appears what they're doing here, Emsco has now set right lane, the rest of his team posturing and positioning for push in the left lane. This is how you make an Orb Prime push. You set one opposing lane, and you push another. And at some point, someone on your opponent's team is going to have to fall back from the engagement and deal with the other side, or you're just going to lose both your inhibitors, at very minimum, one. The Tier 2 tower, see if they make the stand here. I kind of doubt it. Maybe just feign a little bit of pressure here, Pith. But it's all on the heels of Arctic Wolves right here, right now. This is the make and break moment.
Yeah, they don't really want Oxygen getting up to the base at this point in the game. With so much damage on Emsco, they know that their inhib is going to just melt right in front of their eyes. And Oxygen, they've got a pretty easy play to go for the base right now. It's Arctic Wolves who have to come up big in this next fight, and they could do it. They have the double caster combo as well, some nice tankiness on Mistile, but they really have to find the execution, and they're just going to back away from this one.
Tier 2 tower was going to fall. You want to make your stand. Mid lane is pushed out enough for Arctic Wolves where they have breathing room, but keep your eye on that right laner. Even if this engagement doesn't really go the way of Team Oxygen, they have that insurance policy of the right lane. It has a tier 2 tower to push down still, but they can play this game of just sit and wait. Allow that right lane to push in, around that allow that mid lane to threaten the core. The moment someone peels off to try to deal with it, that's when you take your engagement. Medj charges it in, smash and grabs. And that's what's going to be happening right here. Going to fall back, already down to half HP. So feigning some aggression, but not yet. Oh, Miss Hollow just gets down. Is he going to live? Oh, I thought he was going to die. Oh, man, I thought he was going to get taken out here. So he's going to have to fall back to the base. Right lane tier 2 tower, about to be taken out by that wave that's pushing. Patient play from Team Oxygen. I love this. This is a display of phenomenal game sense, recognizing that they are not in a rush here. Orb Prime or no Orb Prime, they are the ones in control. Blink forward, hook not going to land. Here comes the push.
No.
Vanilla gets caught out. Vanilla gets annihilated. I don't care how fast your reaction times are. That pistol comes out of the holster of Bellica, and you are a goner. Miss Hollow gets tossed up in the air. Next one to be focused down, and Arsenic again picks up the next kill. Imsco actually gets taken out there, so a 1-for-2 trade. The carry's taken out here for Team Oxygen, and I'm not entirely sure if they're going to be able to continue this active push into the left lane without their carry. It's going to be very difficult to do so. Survivor had peeled off to try to deal with the creep on other sides of the map. He's now done that, and now looking for a defense. If Phasma lands this hook, and he doesn't land it, Marty gets taken out. That's the one you're looking for right there. And that's going to be the inhibitor. Stays alive. That was very well played by Team Oxygen. I said by Arctic Wolves. Team Oxygen just played patience. And now Arctic Wolves, oh no, an overextension and miscommunication. They were doing so well in this engagement. And that might cost them dearly here, ladies and gentlemen. Phasma was the one who was containing and holding the line. With him down. Nope, Team Oxygen's too wounded. They're out of mana.
No prime buff.
They are going to fall back there. No prime buff. That was, on both sides, that was played so incredibly well right there.
Yeah, for the most part, Phasma's probably getting a little bit too far out there. You see him really trying to make up some of the team's slack here, trying to pick that up with some really good riplashes, which he has had over the past couple of engagements. He's had some really good ones, saying, Mario, you're not getting out of here with your low health. You're being pulled right back in. So he's been taking advantage of a couple of opportunities, but he just got a little bit aggressive in that last one and ended up getting taken out. But at least they managed to keep their inhibitor alive, and they weathered out the OP storm of Team Oxygen. So Arctic Wolves, they still have a lot going for them right now, but they really do need to keep their wits about them, which has been difficult for them in the past. I like that they're keeping themselves in this match. Perhaps Mistile is good for them, maybe a calming presence on the jungler. I have no idea, having not heard the comms or the team members for them just yet. But this Arctic Wolf squad, they're not losing their heads just yet here. And they're trying to make a play against Oxygen right now. Not sure if that's to be advised, but they are definitely grouping up around the mid lane and the jungle.
Tumbling forward from Phasma. He's found out Imsco. Where's the follow-up? If they can get follow-up here, this could be great for Arctic Wolves. He forces out the Reckoning. Imsco's going to retreat away. You can tell they're judging. They're trying to prejudge Imsco. Where is he going to return? He's going to return inside the safety of his team. He's not yet getting away. Survivor, the grenade. Hold on to the pier, just barely enough to keep him alive. That grenade was so close to getting the kill. And Imsco, is he going to be able to get the hell away? It's okay, though, because now this engagement means they don't have a carry. There is no carry on the field for Team Oxygen right now. But they cannot overextend. There's a hook again, but it's oh my, Arsenic just goes in there and without mana gets blown up. Is Vanilla Cutie. I'm not sure how they continue to pull these engagements out. Now Arsenic is saying a little bit of swag on it there. The double seismic assault right there, intentional or not. They get up another kill. Team Oxygen continue to find advantages in ways that bewilder logical reasoning. And Meds and both Ram Riddles deep into the enemy jungle by themselves are now just going to casually 2v3 Arctic Wolves. No problem. Smash and grab. Hit that right mouse button. We're going to Zay number 2. That's what Team Oxygen's saying right here.
Wow, just the amount of chase that Oxygen had the ability to do there was insane. Usually you don't want to chase for kills like that, but they had the communication and the coordination in order to take everything that they needed, and this might just set up the end game scenario for themselves.
They're looking for it. I do not foresee an outcome where Arctic Wolves live. Nah, Phasma gets taken out. It's just Mist Hollow. He's going to use the Colossal Blow, but just focus down the core. Secure that ticket to day number 2. Team Oxygen are going to take that game. I got to say, game number 2, if this was game number 1, I would say Arctic Wolves can bring this back. But unfortunately, with that poor display that they had in game number 1, this was the make-or-break game for them. There's moments where they looked like they were in the lead, no doubt about it, but the moments where they were going to be taking this game, and they made just a couple of overextensions. Their eyes got bigger than their stomach, specifically in that last engagement where they were navigating through that fog wall in between the inhibitors on the strong side of the jungle. Vanilla was not expecting Arsenic to just smash the R button and kill him. You got to respect your mana as a caster when you're facing a Bellica, well, that's what happens. Congratulations to Oxygen. That was a great game.
Oh, absolutely. But honestly, congratulations to both teams. Unfortunately, Arctic Wolves did get knocked out, but they had a really good showing. And while they might not be continuing any further in this iteration of the PCL, we will probably be seeing them possibly doing
they already signed
better.
Up.
Yeah, they're already signed up for our qualifier into the exhibition event into North Carolina, guys. That is the most hyped thing happening in the competitive scene right now. 3 qualifier tournaments. The NA one will be casted and held by PCL, and we are so excited to be bringing that to you guys, and we absolutely cannot wait, and we hope that Arctic Wolves are going to join us for that. But we're probably getting a bit too ahead of ourselves right now. That last game, Shane.
I was going to say, hold up.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We still got games tomorrow to cast too, my man. But to follow up on what you're saying there, is that this is these teams who come out of this with, depending on their performances, I think is going to be set the stage for the North American qualifiers, which will be going out through the course of June, with the finals happening shortly thereafter. But Oxygen are, I think, back to Oxygen status. They were looking a little bit lull. They were having a period of lull. If we can get some lull in chat, I think that would be really great. But it's good to see them coming back again and making a statement there. Game number 1 was a statement. Game number 2 was also a statement, but kind of in a different way. Perseverance, losing engagements, but maintaining discipline. And we're going to see them tomorrow in the semifinals, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Pith, overall thoughts for the day, my man. Overall thoughts. What do you think? How you feeling? What are you doing?
I am feeling pretty good about tomorrow, honestly. I was talking a bit earlier about how competitive these games have been. I mean, Toronto Esports, Arctic Wolves knocked out. I mean, this is a finalist from the last PCL NA knocked out in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
I mean, just go over that one more time and think about it, because this scene is getting tighter and tighter, and the games are getting better and better. And honestly, I can't wait until tomorrow, and I can't wait to watch the matches with all of you, because we're going to see something, pardon the pun, epic tomorrow. Don't hate me.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your support. Day number 1 here on the primary Paragon Competitive League Twitch channel is over. We thank you so much for your support. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for being so passionate. The Paragon community as a whole. Hope to see you guys tomorrow for the semifinals and the finals. I'm Shane. That's Pith. On behalf of everyone here at the PCL, thank you very much, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.